Welcome to tonight's show. Our guests are our two famous athletes, Tyler and Simon. So guys, what's the secret behind your success? Discipline and hard work. And what can you tell us about Nicole Lake? Are the rumors true? That girl is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. She's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Nicole seemed so sweet. I never could have imagined how our meeting would end. Well, it looks like every champion in the country is terrified of Nicole Lake.
Hi, I'm Nicole Lake, and yep, they were talking about me. I'm not a criminal, and I'm definitely not the boss of some sports mafia. So why do champions freak out whenever they hear my name? Well, I should probably start from the beginning. My grandpa is a legendary hockey player. His name is Roger Lake, and he's known all over the world. To call him a living legend would be an understatement. Reporters and fans would stop by our house from time to time. However, Grandpa never let anyone in.
Reporters that did everything to fit their own narrative.
But what's wrong with the fans?
Those sneaky little thieves are always trying to steal my old hockey stick as a souvenir. I'm not letting anyone into this house.
As for me, sports couldn't have interested me less. I loved collecting miniature trains. I loved my corgi, waffles. I loved old movies. I never picked fights with anyone. Basically, I was the most harmless person you could imagine. Or at least that's what I thought. It all started at the grand opening of the Sports Hall of Fame Museum. The organizers invited Grandpa as the guest of honor. To my surprise, he not only accepted, but also decided to donate his old jersey to the museum. While Grandpa was cutting the ribbon, a sudden gust of wind blew my hat away. No!
Got it. Here you go.
Thanks. This guy was so buff that I felt like a garden gnome next to him.
I'm Simon.
Nicole.
So, want to get out of here and grab a milkshake?
No, sorry. I need to get back to my grandpa.
And I won't keep you.
Grandpa and I wandered through the museum, taking our time and checking out the exhibits. Eventually, I got hungry and headed over to the snack table. That's when another cute guy walked up to me.
Hey, I'm Tyler. Honestly, out of all the exhibits here today, you're the only one I've been looking at.
I nearly choked on the pastry I was eating when Simon walked over and gave his rival a little shove.
Hey, I saw Nicole first, so back off. She's not a parking spot. Keep talking and I'll turn you into one.
Two guys I'd barely even met were arguing over me, and I just stood there wondering how I was supposed to react. Luckily, Grandpa called out to me.
Nicole!
Coming, Grandpa!
Wait, you're Roger Lake's granddaughter? Can you introduce me to him? I'm a huge fan.
That's probably not a good idea. He doesn't like that kind of attention. Grandpa looked them over, then slowly shook his head.
I don't like these two, Nicole.
After the museum opening, my peaceful life started falling apart at a record speed. First, Simon sent me a friend request. It turned out he was a weightlifter. Judging by everything he posted, making the national team wasn't just a goal, it was his whole life. 2 days later, Tyler sent me a friend request too. He was an athlete as well, and he was just as determined to build an incredible sports career. Then, somehow, both of them found out where I lived and started sending me flowers. Lots of flowers.
A delivery guy just dropped off more flowers.
Dad, we've already run out of vases.
Did a flower truck tip over in our living room or what?
They're all from Nicole's admirers. Anyway, I've got to head to a meeting.
See you tonight, Dad.
Those two are guys from the museum, right?
Yeah.
You do understand why they're courting you, don't you?
Yeah, I know I'm not what they're actually after. Hopefully they'll get tired of this soon enough.
Just be careful, Nicole.
About once a week, I'd visit a guy at the hospital. That day, just like always, he lay there completely still while the monitors beeped steadily beside him. More than anything, I wished I could go back in time and take back the words I'd said the last time we saw each other. All I could do was hope that someday he'd wake up so I could finally apologize. How's Brian doing? I'm afraid there's been no change. He's still in a coma. I thanked her and headed for the door. My eyes were already filling with tears, so I wasn't paying much attention to where I was going. I walked right into a broad-shouldered guy on my way out. He had a black eye and a scowl that made me instantly uneasy. I squeaked out a quick sorry and hurried away. The stranger, meanwhile, walked into Brian's room. That evening, I was putting together one of my miniature trains, listening to a podcast and chatting with Waffles. Then I heard something weird outside. I looked out of the window, and Simon and Tyler were throwing punches. Both of you, stop it! You're acting like little kids! I made them come inside so I could clean up their scrapes, But even in the kitchen, they kept snarling at each other like two rabid chihuahuas. I'd finally had enough. Enough with the performance. I've seen the pictures of you two together on your profiles. Did you really think I wouldn't figure out your friends?
Nicole,
I know exactly why you've been doing all this. And I'm about to introduce you to the person you've actually been trying to impress. After that, leave me alone. No, I wasn't talking about Grandpa. As much as every hockey fan dreamed of meeting him, I meant my dad. Dad, meet Tyler. He's a talented swimmer. And this is Simon, a promising weightlifter. They both want you to take them under your wing. See, my dad was a legendary sports agent. Regular people might not have known who he was, but in the sports world, he was a big deal. He'd helped launch the careers of dozens of champions by landing them sponsors and negotiating amazing contracts. So the second I found out Tyler and Simon were both athletes, I realized they weren't trying to win me over. They were trying to get to my dad.
well, if you're really as good as you say you are, then let's talk about working together.
The guys were happier than kids in a candy store. Then they walked off without even saying thanks or bye. But honestly, I hadn't expected anything different. A week later, I came home in tears. Grandpa knew something was wrong the second he saw me.
What happened?
I went to see Brian again. The doctors said they've given up hope that he'll ever wake up. His parents have decided to take him off life support. It's over. I kept hoping he'd open his eyes so I could tell him how sorry I am.
Nicole, you can't keep blaming yourself.
I was grateful for Grandpa's support, but he had no idea just how guilty I felt. Less than a week later, I was standing at Brian's funeral. The cemetery was packed. There were even some reporters. I stayed off to the side, hoping no one would notice me. But Brian's parents did.
How dare you come here? Get out of here! You have some nerve!
I didn't bother trying to explain myself again. I just turned around and started walking. Then someone called out to me. It was the intimidating guy I'd run into at the hospital. He now had a cut above his eyebrow, but this time I wasn't afraid of him. Maybe I just needed someone to talk to.
Did you know Brian?
Not very well. He was one of my dad's clients. One day we met, and let's just say he convinced himself he was in love. But I didn't feel the same way. He came on way too strong. I turned him down as nicely as I could, but Brian just couldn't accept rejection. Looking back, that was probably his biggest flaw.
He was an incredibly talented boxer.
He was. But he also had a terrible temper. He had lost his championship title because he couldn't control himself. His coach dropped him, and so did my dad. The night everything happened, Brian was fighting in an underground match. He got knocked out, slammed his head in, never woke up. Brian's parents believe he got into underground fighting to get my attention. To be honest, sometimes I blame myself too. All of a sudden, Cole glanced toward a nearby tree. A man had been hiding behind it, eavesdropping on us. The moment he realized we'd seen him, he took off running. That guy was acting pretty strange. So, how did you know Brian? Were you friends?
No, we actually never met.
Wait, what?
Sorry, I never introduced myself. I'm Cole Matthews. I'm a boxer too, the undisputed champion.
So that's why your face is covered in battle scars.
Oh, this? It's nothing. Brian was supposed to be my next opponent before he got kicked out of the association. I'd seen him fight, though. He was the real deal. I was hoping we'd finally meet in the ring someday. That's why I kept visiting him at the hospital. It's a shame things ended like this.
Yeah, it really is. Sorry, I should get going.
Wait, what was your name?
Nicole Lake.
Don't blame yourself, Nicole Lake. Brian made his own choices.
Thanks. A few days after the funeral, my life was shattered by an article. It spread all over town overnight with the headline, "The Girl Who Broke a Champion." Right there on the front page was my picture. The article went into detail about Brian's story, how he'd been a rising boxing star, how he'd fallen for the daughter of a famous sports agent, and how after she rejected him, he got involved in underground fights and eventually ended up in a coma. The comments were full of people calling me a villain. Of course, everyone loved a good tragedy. I wanted to throw my phone across the room. But then I noticed a message from Cole. He'd sent me a friend request and said we needed to talk. I was surprised, but I agreed.
I don't want you thinking I'm the one who leaked your story to the press.
I know you didn't. Remember someone was spying on us at the cemetery? I'm sure it was the reporter who wrote the article.
That's what I figured, but I guess I was also looking for an excuse to see you again.
We smiled at each other. And that's how it all started. First came the endless nights of texting. Then we accidentally ran into each other outside the sports complex. Then we'd grab coffee after his workouts. Before I knew it, I couldn't fall asleep without waiting for his goodnight message. Cole turned out to be nothing like I'd expected. In the ring, he was terrifying. Outside of it, he was unbelievably calm. He listened far more than he talked, and he never felt the need to show off. One day, Grandpa said he wanted to meet him. He studied Cole for a long moment before finally saying,
I like this kid.
I smiled. Grandpa was rarely wrong about people. After that, my dad wanted to meet Cole too.
I looked into your career, son. You've got a lot of potential. But what you're missing is good publicity. If I became your agent, I'd help you land sponsors and negotiate great contracts.
Wait, I thought you already signed new athletes. What about Tyler and Simon?
We don't work together anymore. We had different ideas about where things were headed. So, what do you say, Cole? Thanks, but I'm not interested. Fair enough. I respect your decision.
It felt like flowers were blooming inside my chest. Cole wasn't looking for my dad's connections or my grandpa's autograph. He wanted me. And that meant everything. Everything was perfect. Until one day, Cole showed up with the kind of expression that tells you bad news is coming.
My coach thinks our relationship is hurting my performance. He gave me an ultimatum. It's either you or boxing.
My heart sank. I knew exactly how much boxing meant to Cole, so I already knew which one he'd choose.
I'm sorry, Nicole. Please forgive me.
It's okay. You made the right choice. You chose your dream. We broke up without yelling, without drama, without some heartbreaking scene in the rain. We just hugged, said goodbye, and that was it. After I closed the door behind him, I leaned against it and cried until I had no tears left. 2 weeks later, Cole was set to defend his championship title. The whole city was watching the fight, and so was I. Grandpa and I were glued to the TV. The first few rounds couldn't have gone better. Cole looked completely in control. But halfway through the match, he went down hard after trading punches and injured his shoulder. Later, the doctor said it wasn't a career-ending injury. Still, the recovery would keep him out for an entire season. For any athlete, that would have been devastating. I didn't want to make things even harder for him, so I simply sent him a fruit basket with a note that said, "Get well soon." The very next morning, there was a news article making the rounds. A headline reads, "Champion dumps girl, then loses his career." The writer brought up Brian's story, drew all kinds of comparisons, and even asked whether it was really just a coincidence. Or as the article put it, is the sweetest girl in town secretly getting revenge on every champion who crosses her? The whole thing really got to me, but Grandpa was there to support me.
This is exactly why I stopped giving interviews. Reporters will make up any ridiculous story if it gets them a catchy headline. Don't worry, sweetheart. People will forget about it soon enough.
Except they didn't. The scandal just kept getting bigger. Before long, Tyler and Simon both ran into career problems of their own. One was unexpectedly kicked off the national team, and the other was pulled from a major competition. That's when they suddenly remembered me again. They went from one talk show to another, appeared on podcasts, and told interviewers how they'd once pursued me, then dumped me. And according to them, that was when their careers started falling apart.
Nicole Lake is the daughter of a famous sports agent and the granddaughter of a legendary hockey player. If she wants to, she can ruin any champion's career.
Waffles, are you hearing this nonsense? The story blew up so much that people all over the internet became convinced I was a monster hiding behind a sweet smile. Dad was furious.
I'm suing them for defamation. Nobody gets to talk about my daughter like that.
Don't, Dad. The more we try to defend ourselves, the more people are going to talk about it. But the scandal wasn't dying down. People even started recognizing me on the streets, and not in a good way. One day, Cole called me.
Nicole, I know it sounds ridiculous. It's just, everyone's talking about it. Be honest, you didn't have anything to do with what happened to Tyler and Simon, did you?
What? You too? It felt like I'd just been slapped across the face. I was so hurt and angry I could barely breathe. I'd never raised my voice at anyone like that before.
I'm just trying to understand.
Don't ever call me again! Ever! I threw my phone across the room and cried for what felt like forever. How could Cole, of all people, doubt me? A few more weeks went by. One evening I was home with Waffles asleep on the couch beside me, mindlessly flipping through channels. Then I accidentally landed on yet another talk show featuring Tyler and Simon. I had no interest in listening to people trash me all over again. I was just about to turn the TV off when the host announced there was one more guest.
Please welcome Cole Matthews. He has to come on the show himself.
I froze, completely glued to the screen. Was he there to blame me too?
I've always believed people should tell the truth instead of blaming everyone else for their own mistakes. Since these two won't admit what really happened, I will. Tyler was kicked off the team because he got into a fight. Simon was pulled from the competition after testing positive for doping. How dare you make stuff like that up? Stop embarrassing yourselves. Neither of you has acted like a real athlete in a long time. Instead of owning up to your mistakes, you've been hopping from talk show to podcast like washed up reality TV stars, blaming everything on Nicole because it is easier than telling the truth. She is the kindest girl I've ever met, and if I had to choose between my career and Nicole all over again, I wouldn't make the same mistake twice. Because when you're a champion, people only care about you winning. But Nicole cared about me.
I couldn't hold back my tears anymore. Every word he said came straight from the heart.
Didn't I tell you I liked that kid?
You did, and so do I. The very next day, Cole came to apologize to me in person, and I forgave him. But how am I supposed to forgive myself? Because there's one thing nobody knows. The day Brian lost his championship title, he came to see me completely broken.
If I become champion again, will you give me a chance?
Yeah, I think I will. I thought I was giving him hope. I thought I was motivating him to pull himself together and make it back into the sport. Instead, I pushed him toward underground fighting. Sometimes I can't stop wondering what would have happened if I'd answered differently that day. Would Brian still be alive? What do you think? Was I really responsible for his death?